I think they'll still be busy. Be a couple more incomings, and there'll be a few probably heading in another direction as well, which is to be expected, I think. So, yeah, we've obviously I've got to really focus on the game and making sure that we're prepared and in the best place possible for a huge game of football. And obviously Kieran and the guys are handling a lot of the other stuff, and I'm around it when I need to be. But yeah, there'll be some more stuff going on.
I'm sure you realise the name people are going to dwell on inevitably is Hayden Hackney. How much would it mean to you as a coach if he's still a Middlesbrough player next week?
Look, H is a brilliant footballer, so I get all the speculation around him. There's a pecking order in football. I think anyone who's maybe not at Real Madrid or Bayern Munich or whatever, those sorts of that stratosphere of club, there's always going to be speculation around your best players, and H is one of those. So, that's all it is, speculation. We're preparing for the focus for the game tomorrow, as is he.
Just more generally, as a coach, this window where you've got the constant questions and who's staying, who's going, how much of a difference does it make next week when it's done and you can just get on with the job?
When it calms down. I've had it before now, and I've had it a few times in different windows, so it's nothing new. It's to be expected, and we just deal with it. And but yeah, it does calm down once everything's closed. We get to work. Everyone's there that wants to be there, and we can really settle things down a little bit as well. But all that noise, that's all it is, and we concentrate on the job and can handle what we can handle.
The players seem they're handling that all right as well. Those whose names are in the frame.
Yeah, and I think you can see in the performance. If you take H for an example, look at performances he's put in so far. I think you can see how he's handling things.
Just finally from me, Rob, Johnny Howson, I gather, is at the stadium tomorrow. I appreciate you didn't manage him, but I don't know if you could just say a few words about the contribution he made to this club.
Yeah, fantastic person and player and representative of this football club. So it'd be great for him to be able to see the supporters again, for the supporters to show their appreciation to him. I'll certainly do the same and try and get a minute or so with him as well to thank him. And it's great that we're doing that for Johnny. He deserves that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rob, 100% record so far. The confidence must be high within the camp. How are you feeling? How are the camp feeling about going into this game tomorrow?
Yeah, I think again we're in a good place, confident, but not showing any signs of complacency or anything negative. I think we're really looking forward to what will be another really challenging game. It's so early at the moment, and people can read a lot into results and starts and things like that, but we've got to recognise why we've started well, and the commitment from the players, the work rate, the cohesion, the togetherness, the spirit has been really good, and then we've shown good moments of quality at the right times. We're still building, and we're still improving ourselves as well, and we will continue to hopefully do that for a long, long time. But we're recognising what a tough game this is as well tomorrow, as they all are. So I think we're all looking forward to it. I enjoyed training today. The lads were good.
And you talked a lot about game management and how important that is about seeing games out, and that's something that we've had issues with in the past. At the game at the weekend, how pleased were you with the way that Borough coped in that second half? And were you biting your nails as well as many other Borough fans in those last 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think we made it a little bit more difficult for ourselves than we would have liked. We obviously had some big opportunities in the game and maybe could have taken the game away from Norwich, but we didn't. It's hard at any level of football to get over the line and win games. And I think it was good actually to speak to the boys on the Monday and even show an example at the top level and see how Liverpool had similar sorts of problems, if you like, against Newcastle. 2-0 up, Newcastle down to 10 men. It's difficult for them to go on and win the game. So it was good to be able to draw on what's going on at the top level as well. So full credit to the lads for doing that and winning. Norwich is a really tough place to go. It's hard to go away from home and win back-to-back games. So we're really pleased with that, but there's learning there for us as well, where we can be better in certain moments and make it more comfortable for ourselves.
Yeah. And how pleased were you with some of the cameos that we saw in that second half during the Norwich game?
Yeah, pleased. There has been I think an impact from all of the substitutions in all of the games so far have been really positive. So that's what we always want. This is a really tough season, 46 games, and it's going to take everybody. And just because someone starts the game doesn't mean that clearly we're not going to finish that way. There's going to be changes in game. So we're going to really rely on the lads, and some games might be for him, and then it might be right. This game's his on Saturday, but you've got to be ready to come and impact the game for us for the last half hour, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it might be. So really happy with the impact that all of the guys have made coming off the bench in all three of those league games so far.
And just on the recruitment situation, obviously you're saying there may be one or two more coming in, going out. Are there any positions specifically that you're looking for to bring players in? Yeah,
there are, and obviously we got the target, so we know who we're going for. I'm not going to divulge that right now, but yeah, of course we're targeting certain areas. There's been a really good plan here from before we came in that we've been able to sort of go along with and add our input in as well once we get to know the group and know the players. But that's the great thing about this football club as well. We've got a lot of people, there's a lot of alignment, there's a clear way of working, and a really good strategy about how we go about the recruitment.
And that's very clear in the recruitment process, and you must be very pleased with your role in that whole position.
Yeah, it's great because it allows me to focus on the players and the team first and foremost, and do our work as coaches. But we're involved in the process as well. And there's a lot of alignment. We're all allowed to be able to speak the truth and be honest, and if it's and that's great as well, and it has to be that way. But yeah, there's a really good support and good alignment in how we're working.
Excellent. Just is there an update on the injury? In terms of the squad that you've got to select for?
Yeah. So Bangsy's still out. Obviously, his hamstring was a little bit more serious from the Bradford game, and then but we all knew that anyway. Riley's still doing his work and getting himself right so that he can stay back. That's obviously what I'm saying to you guys at the moment. He's progressing well, and then Darrow's been training now for a week and a half or so. So those are the only two that are unavailable. Darrow's available as well now, so we're in a good spot selection wise.
Finally for me, Rob, Middlesbrough women are playing at the Riverside on Sunday. How important is it for the women to get games like this at the Riverside and continue to raise their profile in the game? Yeah,
look, it's great. My daughter played. She unfortunately finished playing not long ago, and so I've lived that for probably 10 or 11 years of her life, more than that really, and following her around as much as possible. So we wish them luck against Derby on Sunday. It's a great opportunity for them to be playing at the Riverside, and it'd be amazing to get a good support base there to go and to cheer the girls on.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Just a couple more on injuries, Rob. Darragh, obviously you won't rush him back, but he can be a huge player, can't you? You only have to look at his pedigree and what he's achieved in the game.
Yeah, he's a top player. He's obviously had a difficult period, but he was looking really good in pre-season for us. He's not missed too long, which is good. He had probably a good solid 4 weeks of work with us. So great to have him back out on the training pitch because he's another leader. He's a really good player. Gives us another fantastic option. So yeah, really pleased.
Riley, do you think he'll be ready after the break, or are you just kind of reluctant to put him?
I don't want to put a date on it. That's kind of what we're hoping. But again, that's not. The really important thing with Riles is especially with what I'm demanding and what we want from the group and the intensity that we're showing that the lads are working at. We want him to be able to come back and deliver that consistently and keep working. That's what he wants as well. So it's really important that we all work really hard and we're on the same page with it. If we're to put all this hard work in and rush him back too soon, and he was to break down again, that's obviously the last thing that we want. So it'd be great if it was after the break, but we'll see.
Transfer-wise, I think it's kind of acceptance that Callie Senna is likely to be the next one through the door. Maybe is it at a stage where you can say anything?
We're in talks with him.
Right.
We're in talks with him. So things have progressed, but yeah, that's where we're at the moment.
It feels like in terms of ins, everything's come together, or a lot. I know you're not done yet, but a lot's come together over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think so. Really happy with what we've been able to do. We brought a lot of talent in, some brilliant people. It's really important as well. People who want to come and represent the club, want to play for Middlesbrough, fit what we're trying to do. I think it's really important for me that players are able to play in a couple of positions as well and give us some flexibility. So tactically we can change in game, or we can maybe change the shape as well, which I know there's been a few questions on that, and that gives us the ability to show adaptability as well, which is important to me. So really happy with what we've done so far, and as I say, when it closes on Monday night, then I think we'll be in a really good place.
It's the first time we've spoken to you since Matt came in. Just talk about what he'll offer.
Well, obviously loads of experience. He's a really good player. He's played at a very high level for a long time. A natural left foot with balance, someone who can play left back, left wing back as well. Allows us to, and more strength in depth in that area. Clearly, Sammy's been doing really well, but it was an area that was quite clear that we needed to try and bring in more bodies there.
He's in the last year of his contract at Newcastle. So I know you won't be thinking that far down the line, but I guess you can only benefit from the fact he's going to be playing for his future.
Yeah, well, look, he's really hungry. He's really keen to join. He's a fantastic person, and yeah, he'll be really wanting to get the games in this season for those reasons as well. So we had some really good discussions during that period of time when we were thinking about bringing him in, and it was really clear that he was the right one for us.
He in his first interview this week, he talked about his first chat with you, and he talked about as soon as he learned what his interest was. I know you've talked a lot about this summer, but the desire to be here, the commitment, that is so important to you.
Yeah, this is a really big football club and a really passionate fan base that deserve to see people who want to represent the club and be here and play with that passion. Let's see that on the pitch. So that was really clear from day one. That's something that we wanted to bring in people that are keen to come. We've done the great thing about representing being head coach of this football club is it doesn't take much to convince people, which is great. It's really encouraging that people recognise what this is and what it can be as well. So that's made things easier for me when I'm having these conversations with players.
Just one more for me. After your first game, after the Swansea game, you talked about how when you got the numbers back from the game, you were really impressed and you compared it with the rest of the Championship. Can you just talk more about what they were and whether it's been the same in the Millwall and Norwich games and what that tells you about what you're getting from the players? Yeah,
when we came in, we talked about intensity and the lads would run enough so that total distance now is almost. It's a sort of generic thing that it doesn't really matter too much because the total distance of the running, people can jog around and cover distance, but it's the speed that you do it now, and the high intensity and the sprint distance is where I'm looking at because I want us to play with intensity. The big thing that I took away from my year in the Premier League was how quick things happened. Obviously the quality, but things happen quick, and the sprint distance was 20% up from the Championship, what we experienced. So that's a big thing for me. So okay, we want to be tactically good, we want to be really good with the ball, but we've got to run hard as well. And I don't know a coach in world football who doesn't want his team to run hard, and we've got to run fast. So yeah, we've been consistently high with those things so far, and I'll keep showing the players that. It'll be a big reason why we've been able to get positive results so far. That's been a real positive, but that's 3 down, there's 43 to go. So we've got to be consistent with that.
Which is why you need a squad.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. So the impact then from the side is really important. You can't ask people to work as hard as what we're asking them to do now and expect them to all be able to do 95 minutes every week. It's just impossible. So we have to be able to then share the minutes around as well.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
You touched there, Rob, on Sammy obviously starting the season well with Matt coming in. Does that kind of change the view on Sammy and where he might play? Obviously more naturally a forward-thinking player, but done so well at left wing back. Will he remain an option in that role?
Of course he will. Yeah, of course he will, because he's done so well, and I think I've just mentioned before how important it is for players for me to be able to play in 2 or 3 different positions. I just think that gives them more opportunity to play, first of all. But again, we can show adaptability within games. So Sammy's shown now, 3 high-level performances in 3 tough games that he's more than capable of playing at this level, doing that. So, of course, he's an option there for us.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke to him just recently, and he was saying how much he's enjoying the role, but also needing to learn a lot, particularly on the defensive side. Have you been particularly impressed with kind of how much he's, taken on that new role and embraced it, if you like?
Yeah, really impressed. Pleasantly surprised as well how much he's valued that stuff. I think, in particular, the Millwall game, where there was a lot more aerial duels and at some set pieces defend and things like that. He was really, really good. So been delighted with how he's valued that other side of the game as well.
Yeah, we touched briefly on Finn's exit there. I mean, in the remaining time of the window, do you feel you might need to replace him, or do you feel in what you've already done this summer, you Sanchi coming in, for example, do you feel you've got enough in those kind of forward areas anyway?
Like I said, we're delighted with what we've been able to do so far. We're working on others as well, but we were always aware that could happen. So we plan accordingly.
Yeah. And obviously the other side of that as well, as you've mentioned, there could still be exits. The squad balance, I guess, will be important. Are you having any conversations with players who are maybe not at the top of the pecking order at the moment, and seeing, maybe they might need a move on?
Of course, and that is that's a really important part of my role, and obviously again Kieran and the guys' role as well, to be able to make sure that our numbers are right, and that some people might need some football but be coming back, and some people might need some football that might then they go. And those conversations are always happening. Try and be as honest as we can with everybody, and respectful as we can with everybody.
Yeah, just finally for me, you touched on Alex Bangura. Is there any kind of time frame on how long he might be out?
He's been back out on the grass, but on an individual basis at the moment. So he could be a couple of weeks from training with the group again, which is obviously encouraging.
Thank you.
Have you got anything?
You mentioned the intensity and the runs and the sprints and everything. Coming away from the Norwich game, there was some fans were talking to me and said they couldn't believe how solid we were in midfield and how we were harrying them, and they hadn't seen the team playing that way for quite some time.
Yeah, it's nice that they were positive about it. Obviously, the 2 goals came from really good goals, but from some high regains and high pressure, which is a big part of our game. We want to be able to score in different ways, and they were really good goals to watch with the ball, but also came from some aggressive pressure, which was great. We want to be able to press high and try and win the ball back as high as we can, but we have to do that from a compact shape, and we have to be ready to go and press. We'll do a lot of work on that because we have to value it. There's 2 sides to the game, and obviously lots of moments we did it when you just won it back, or you just lost it when you have to run hard as well. But we've got to value the other side of the game as well and respect that. We know we've got some very good individuals and technical players, so we've got to do more work and get better again with the ball so we can control it for longer spells. But yeah, really happy with what we're doing without the ball as well, and how aggressive we've been. And
now, obviously, we're playing at home. We've had 2 away games. Do we need to look at those other qualities you're talking about more at home? It's kind of like it's up to you, isn't it, to be you can't sort of sit back and hit people.
No. Look, games are won in many different ways. Of course, we want to try and be as dominant as we can in every game, whether we're home or away. There are always tweaks in the plan, but how we want to try and play won't differ too much. But of course, we want to be on the front foot. We want to try and be aggressive and brave and take risks and play quick football. That's what we want to try and do. Sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. Sometimes we'll have to really dig in and show a lot of resilience. That's just how it is. No team's going to come to the Riverside and make it easy for us this year, so we're going to have to show different ways to win games. So we're prepared to do that.